Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakah Kodash, and double honors to my elders and apostles, the great millstone. Peace and sincere blessings to the hopeful elect and the 1/3 scattered across the four corners of the earth. All right. This is actually a lesson that I wrote down earlier. And it's basically this lesson's going to be on the rich versus the poor. All right, because see, there is no equality. All right, you're always going to have the rich and you're going to have the poor. All right, and of course, who is the poor? Well, the poor are you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos, who are the biblical Israelites that the Bible speaks of. All right, we are at the bottom, the bottom. Okay. The Edomites, the self-proclaimed white man, who is also the devil, that's who's in control of the world. Okay? He knows who our people are. All right? These elites that run the world, they know that you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos are the Israelites, God's chosen people. All right? It's you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos, you're the ones who don't know that you're Israelites, okay? It's our people that don't know who they are. These elites know, and that's how they know what to do to keep our people in a lower state, okay? This is Psalms 10:2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Okay? And hey, it's gonna come a time, when Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai appears, these wicked elites, even they're gonna be running for their life. All right. All right. All these rich people that have all this money, they can care less about Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because with all their money, they're living in heaven. That's their heaven. Okay? They can care less about the poor. They can care less, They might give away a free turkey every year, and that takes away the guilt that they have inside. All right? But that's not enough, because they don't do anything for the poor. This is Psalms 10:8. All right? He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He had said in his heart, God has forgotten. He hideth his face, he would never see it. Okay? And that's Esau Edom. Alright? And just like how you got these, who do you think police officers are taught to part of police training is knowing everything about how Jake moves. Alright? Police are trained to go against these so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos. Alright? Alright? And why do you think they're mainly in the hood? Alright? In the poor areas. Because that's where you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos are. Alright? They be doing operations in Jake neighborhood, coming in undercover cars. Alright? Just like these ICE agents. They're not out there looking for Edomites. Alright? They're not out there looking for Edomites. They're not out there looking for Moab, Chinese. Alright? They're not looking for any other nations except you Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos. Alright? And Yahweh Shem Yahushai doesn't like that. Alright? They're that's also oppressing the poor. Alright? This is Proverbs 14:31. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him has mercy on the poor. Okay? And that's all these elites, starting with these elites on down, alright? They just persecute the poor, you know? Living paycheck to paycheck, making enough, just enough to pay your bills and buy a little food, you know, pay your rent, but you don't have anything left to do anything else. You know, you make just enough to just go back to work and come home. Alright? That's oppressing the poor. Alright? That's oppressing the poor. Alright? No money to take a vacation. You know, because you're worried that you have to be back at work. Okay? Matter of fact, this is Proverbs 22:16. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. Alright? And that's all these rich people do. Alright? You know? That's how they keep getting richer. They give their money, they oppress the poor, alright, to increase their own riches. You know, everybody wants to look up to, in the neighborhood, everybody wants to look up to Michael Jordan, alright? Michael Jordan, he's one of those. He's one of those rich, one of the rich that's oppressing the poor. All right, that's why his shoes cost so much. Okay. At the end of the day, even Michael Jordan is under control of them white folks. Got Jordan under control too. All right. So he's willingly oppressing his own people to increase his riches. Right? Proverbs 22:22. Rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. All right. And you know all these look, even Jake, our people are robbing our own people. All right? You got Jake in the hood robbing his own people just to get a couple dollars. All right? And what do you think he learned that from? You know? Same thing Esau Edom's doing with his policies, you know, charging taxes, you know, all types of stuff, you know. You gotta pay to park, you gotta, you know, there's all types of fees, irrelevant fees and stuff that we have to pay. All right? These elites take pride in robbing the poor. They can never get enough. All right? They can never get enough. You know? For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the souls of those that spoiled them. Okay? So there's no way that this much poverty should exist. Okay? There's no way. All right? People get money and they just, you know, they think they're on a whole nother level. Okay? Think they're on a whole nother level. And you know what? Hey, even when I was getting money, I was still giving to the poor. All right? Now that doesn't justify the wickedness I was doing to get money. It doesn't justify that, but it's always been in my spirit to give to the poor. All right? It's always been in my spirit. I got one more scripture that I had. This is Sirach. This is Ecclesiasticus, better known as Sirach 29:9. Help the poor for the commandment's sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. Okay? So, you know, hey, you're supposed to help the poor. All right? You're supposed to want to help a person in need. And sometimes you're not able to do it. You know? But you should definitely always, you're supposed to, you know, help the poor. All right? Now the rich stay rich because they're not concerned with the poor at all. They're not concerned with helping the poor. The rich take their money and they help other rich people. That's how the rich stay rich. And then the poor people, the little bit of money that a poor person gets, he holds on to it. He holds on to it and doesn't want to help any other poor people around him. All right? Because he doesn't know when's the next time he's going to get some money. So that's how the poor stay poor. All right? Scripture says, lose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost. All right? So, but you know what? As the scripture says, hey, a rich man will hardly enter into the kingdom. All right? And the meek are the ones that's going to inherit the earth. So hopefully this was an edifying lesson. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakat Kodash. Double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone. Shalom.